Hey guys, welcome back, and if you're just joining us, welcome aboard. My name's Mike, and today we're going to work on getting your PlayStation 4 controller all set up and working for Ravva the Cyclops Curse. As much as I love this game, it is a little held back by the fact that the PS4 controller isn't natively supported, but that's really not something on the devs. I think that's more of something on the Unity engine itself, but that's neither here nor there because we're going to get this all set up and working for you. Now, after you have your controller plugged in, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to your control panel, and this is just to make sure that Windows is detecting all the buttons as it's supposed to, that it recognizes the controller, and just to make sure that it's there. So you'll go into your control panel, you can go into View Devices and Printers, and Windows detects the PS4 controller as a wireless controller, so that's what you're going to be looking for. And just to make sure that it's actually grabbing the inputs that you're looking for, you're going to want to go into the game controllers settings and look at the wireless controller properties, and as you can see, when we move the D-pad, press the buttons, everything works as it's supposed to. Alright, so for the next part of this, we're going to have to go into big picture mode in Steam. If you've never used big picture mode before, it can be a little frustrating at first, but bear with me, it'll be worth it. So you can right click the Steam icon from your task manager or from your taskbar there and click big picture mode to get into it, and if you don't want to do that, there is another option. We'll get into that after this part. But what you're going to want to do is come up here to this little gear icon, and on the left you'll have your controller settings. Now in this you can play with a whole bunch of configurations for your controller setup, and in mine I have the generic gamepad configuration support and the PlayStation configuration support selected. Down here, as you can see, we've got the PlayStation 4 controller all set up and detected. It's good to go. Steam knows it's there. Steam knows what it is. Mine is renamed because it would still call it the wireless controller, and I'm really picky about that kind of stuff. But after that, we're just going to back out, and this is where the fun begins. So when you're in big picture mode, if you actually, it's easy for me because, you know, Rob is right here, but if, for example, you don't have it as a recently played game, you can go into your installed tab and scroll down until you find Ravva. But what you're going to want to do is go into the Manage Game tab, come over to Controller Configuration, and at the bottom, as you can see, it's detected that it's a PS4 controller, not only by the picture on the screen, of course, but at the bottom with the button prompts. There's the square down there that says Browse Configs. So what you're going to want to do is come down to the Community tab, and there you can find the configuration that we have put up for it. And if you hit X, it'll import it, so you can actually look at it, see what the buttons do, and all that. They're all just defined to basically work like an Xbox controller, so not really a whole lot to see. And if you hit square again, you can apply the configuration, and there you go. It's all done. Let's make sure it works. Of course, we'll pop up the launcher for Ravva. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're having a good day. As you can see down there in the bottom right, it says config loaded for Ravva, which is what you're going to be looking for, obviously. Then we're just going to jump into a stage to make sure that everything works as it's supposed to. Are you guys excited for Meowgia? I am. You should check it out. Follow Gallop Team over on their Twitter for updates. It's looking really good. So as you can see, we can cycle through everything with the shoulder buttons with L and R1 as we're supposed to. Jump with square, fire with... jump with X, fire with square. And you can mash to your heart's content. So everything's working as intended. It's a beautiful thing. Oh yeah, there's an extra life up there if you ever wondered. Alright, so we'll be right back with the next part of how to get your controller working with Ravva and the Cyclops Curse if you don't necessarily want to mess with big picture mode. I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, so if you are not a big fan of having to go through big picture mode, and the other way to get into it that I mentioned earlier is this little icon right up here. You can click that, blow out your eardrums, and open big picture mode. And one thing I neglected to go over a minute ago when I was coming out of big picture mode is if you are in this and you want to turn it off or you want to get out of big picture mode, you can just hit the Genesis icon, exit big picture mode, and then it just turns off big picture mode, doesn't exit out of Steam or anything like that. So if you want the other way to do it, you can come into your library, right click Ravva and the Cyclops Curse. As long as your controller is plugged in, Steam will give you the option to edit your Steam controller configuration. We'll just unplug the controller and we're going to right click it again, see if it's still there. See, it's gone. Alright, so we're going to plug the controller back in. Yes, hello PS4 controller, it's nice to see you again. And it also pops up over here and you can see down here. So you can just edit Steam controller configuration and it brings up this wonderfully familiar screen. Browse the configurations, community tab, just like before. Apply the configuration, done, you're good to go. Try this one for funsies, same thing. And if you want to take some extra precautions, you can always try to map some of the buttons in the input in the launcher. I don't know that I'd necessarily recommend it, but you can try it all the same just to kind of cover your bases. Alright, so if you've been having trouble with Ravva and the Cyclops Curse in your PlayStation 4 controller, I hope this helps you out. There will be a link to the controller config in the thread on the Steam forums for Ravva and the Cyclops Curse. I'll also be putting a link to it in the description of the video. That's all for now. I will see you guys in a future project coming up very soon. Hope you all are having a good day. And until next time, take care, have fun, and I will see you in the next one.